SoundHound AI had a great day on Wednesday, going up over 14% on high volume. Now, this was the highest close since May the 9th of 2022. In this video, I'll go over what's been happening with SoundHound and what's on the horizon. As always, this is not financial advice and is for entertainment purposes only. So SoundHound CFO Nitesh Sharan presented at the UBS Global Technology and AI Conference on Wednesday in Scottsdale, Arizona. He talked about the exciting future ahead for SoundHound, and one thing that he mentioned was how well SoundHound's voice AI is performing in restaurants, especially when it comes to order accuracy. Take a listen.
We actually know in Pacific, if you go into a drive-thru and you order a cheeseburger, french fries, and Coke, you are pretty precise on what you want to come out of that, and that's why we measure order accuracy. And as we saw post-pandemic that there were some actual surveys out there that suggested that humans themselves were only 85% accurate. That you sometimes order things and you wouldn't get exactly, you get onion rings instead of french fries. Well, we've now been live in certain locations where out of the gate, week one, we're at 85%. And after we work with them for months, we're at 95%. So in terms of the precision and the trust, we're actually finding the AI is more accurate in some cases than humans. And I think that's causing inflection and even greater sort of trust around the platforms.
He also mentioned that the company will be breaking even or operating a small loss for the near future, but become profitable later on with an EBIT margin target of 30%, but the company is in no rush because it's still in the growth phase.
Several years down the road, we do believe as a software company we should be returning 30+% EBIT margin businesses. But I would expect for the near and medium term that we're going to be more in that break-even zone, where yes, we're not in the heavy loss-making zone, we're moving to break-even. But I don't think we will necessarily be in a massive rush to get to that 30% EBIT margin because the incremental opportunity is so tremendous. And we want to continue to invest in those growth opportunities across new vectors, across new multimodal channels, and go deeper into different languages and so forth.
Furthermore, in a sign of the times, Sharan talked about our customers are now coming to SoundHound instead of SoundHound salespeople having to go to them first, which was what was happening a few years ago.
So I do believe uniformly people are really curious about this AI space and the conversational AI space and the agentic AI space. So we are getting a ton of conversations. I mentioned publicly previously that in the restaurant space, if I were to compare and contrast now versus just even a year ago, we were going out trying to acquire more and more customers, and now we're having the silver line challenge, but something we don't take for granted, that there's a lot more demand, and we're just trying to have to calibrate that. We don't want to go to a major QSR and say, can you wait for a year? Like, that's not how it works. So
finally, he talked about how SoundHound is in prime position to benefit from the current tailwinds in AI.
So our heritage and our distinction on the technological side of working in voice AI, we think is a differentiator. We think it gives us a running start. We don't take for granted. It's a very attractive market. There's going to be newer and newer players coming in. But we're also playing it aggressively. I think hopefully people have seen this year that not only have we delivered, but we've shown we can acquire, ingest, and scale with acquisitions. We're being thoughtful and prudent on the capital side, as well as towards your question earlier on getting to profitability. And ultimately, we're just at the precipice of what we believe is going to be massive transformation. And every new horizon and generation of 15-year shifts that happen in technology, we believe will be one of the new major players in this next horizon of Gen AI. So I hope that's what people think about when they think of us.
So even though there wasn't a whole lot of new info, it was good to see the CFO out and about promoting the company. I particularly liked the part where he talked about how customers are coming to them instead of the other way around, because this is what Palantir went through earlier in the year before their revenue growth started to accelerate. It looks like there will be another conference next week, but this time the CEO, Kevin Mohajer, will be joining the CFO on stage, so I'll be looking forward to that one. Now, when it comes to the general market, it just keeps going up. Remember, December is historically one of the best months of the year for the stock market, and this is even more so in a bull market. It is a fact that when the market has gone up more than 20% in the first 11 months of the year, most of the time it'll also go up in December. In fact, this chart shows a 100% hit rate the past 5 times this has happened. The AI rally continues to hum along nicely, with Nvidia starting to move again and Palantir recently hitting a new high. Remember, these stocks are the leaders in the AI sector, and as long as they remain strong, smaller stocks like SoundHound should follow them higher. Now let's take a look at SoundHound's chart. As I mentioned in my last video, it looks like SoundHound is forming a long-term cup pattern, which is bullish. It's still unclear whether there will be a retracement to form a cup and handle pattern before breaking out, or if it just breaks straight out without a handle, which will give us just a cup breakout. Because I don't like trading in and out of my positions, I'll be holding steady and sitting through any corrections if there are any. Now, if the broader market stays strong for the rest of the week, then I expect SoundHound to finish higher as well. If so, there is a strong chance that it finishes at or above $12, which would be a great outcome. But of course, anything can happen, and there is still a chance that the stock retraces and forms a handle, so just be aware of that. Because of this uncertainty, I'm going to hold on to my position, because the worst thing that you can do is to sell out hoping to buy back at a lower price, only for the market to run away and all of a sudden you're left in the dust. Believe me, I know from experience. So to summarize, here are the 3 likely possibilities over the next few days. Number 1, the stock falls before breaking out. Number 2, the stock breaks out and then retraces. Number 3, the stock breaks out without tracing. Now the third option is probably the least likely outcome, and I would actually prefer to see the second option play out because it just seems the most natural price movement, if I must say so myself, because if the stock breaks out without retracing, it can attract all sorts of speculative money, which will take the price movement on an unsustainably parabolic trajectory, which may culminate in a swift reversal, or in other words, a crash. Now, I experienced this firsthand when I was trading Tilray, a cannabis stock, back in 2021. I first bought Tilray at around $10, and pretty much immediately it broke out and continued to rally. At this point, I was thinking that this could go up a lot higher, so I held on. Eventually, it got up to more than $65, but little did I know that was the top. It proceeded to crash over the next few days, and I was forced to sell out entirely at around $30. Unfortunately for the remaining shareholders, Tilray never recovered and is now trading at just over $1. Now this is the sort of price movement that I don't want to see in SoundHound, even though I actually tripled my money in Tilray. Because once a stock starts going up parabolically, it's only a matter of time before it crashes back down to earth. Now, I'm not going to lie, I'll probably still take some profits if SoundHound goes up substantially, but I'm going to keep the remainder of my position as a long-term investment because I truly believe in the company's potential. With Tilray though, I went in knowing full well that it was just going to be a short-term trade. Obviously, I should have gotten out a few days earlier, but it's easy to say in hindsight. So I thought I'd bring up Tilray as an example to show you what can happen when speculative fervor takes control of a stock and causes its price to go up parabolically. It doesn't usually end well. And I hope it doesn't happen to SoundHound, but who knows what the future will bring. But for now, I'm sitting tight on my position. I'm not going to do anything. And let me know in the comments below what you're going to do with your position. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more SoundHound videos. Thanks for watching and see you next time.